Okay, I'm recording now. Okay. All right. So you can sit down, you can sit tall, you can find a slight tuck in your chin as you breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. So you take a few moments here to allow yourself to arrive on your mat tonight. So feel the nice air coming in through your nose as your chest rises full of air. Exhale, release your breath back out as you empty your lungs. Take a few more. As you let all the thoughts swirling around in your brain melt away, maybe even just for one breath. All of the thoughts about the past, about the future. See if you can exhale, let them go, and for the next hour, you have nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, except be here now. As you notice how it feels to be inside of your own body right now, you become like an observer without judgment. On your next inhale, you can bring some motion to your breath. So as you inhale, reach your arms out and up overhead as you reach up tall. And then exhale, release as you float your palms back down at the pace of your exhale. You can take 2 more of these as you inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, release. Nice fluid movements without stopping in any one spot. So inhale your arms up, reach up tall, and exhale, release. We'll take 1 more of these as you inhale your arms out and up, reach up, and this time exhale, fold forward. Bring those hands down in front of you, walk those fingers out, tuck your chin, and take a nice round of breath. When you're ready, you can release. Walk those hands back up. And then from here, you can switch the leg that you have in front. And with your hands on your knees, we'll take a few seated cat-cow breaths. So on your next inhale, lean your chest forward and then look up. Exhale, round your spine back and tuck your chin. Inhale, lean forward, look up. Exhale, release back, tuck your chin. You can take a few more of these. So you inhale forward, look all the way up, stretch your eyeballs. And exhale, release back. So you warm up your spine. You can take 1 more of these for good measure. And then when you're ready, you can return to a neutral seated position. And from here, we'll take a few sacrum circles. So as you inhale, rotate your chest around to the front, and exhale, rotate back. So you inhale, forward, exhale, round back to make a circle. So you keep warming up your spine, connect your breath with your movement. You can go both directions. If you want to switch directions, you go inhale forward, exhale back. As you connect your breath with your movement. Alrighty, and then you can return to a neutral seated position. On your next inhale, you can reach your arms out and up. Inhale, tall spine up. Exhale, down to the left. So you take a nice side stretch. Maybe look up. Keep breathing. And then inhale back up through center. Reach up tall. Inhale up. Exhale down to the right this time. Maybe look up. You can bring your right hand down to your side for support. So you think about opening up your chest up to the ceiling. And then you can come back to center. Inhale up. And we'll take a fold. Exhale, fold forward. So you walk those fingertips out. Tuck your chin. Find your breath. And then you can release and bring those hands back up. From here, you can find your tabletop, your hands and knees. So your wrists will come underneath your shoulders, and then your knees underneath your hips. So you look down at the mat for a neutral neck. We'll do a few cat-cows to keep warming up the spine. As you inhale, drop your belly down, open up your chest and look up. Exhale, round your spine up, tuck your chin. Inhale, drop your belly, look all the way up. Cow pose. Exhale, round your spine back. Cat pose. You take one more of these for good measure. Then you can return to a neutral tabletop. From here, we'll warm up the core. We'll start with tiger pose. So you can start by extending your right foot back. You can touch your right toes down to the mat, or you have the option to lift your right foot up off the ground so that your leg is parallel with the ground. It's tempting to lift that foot way up high, which is fun, but see if instead you can keep your hips squared down, level toward the ground, like you can balance a cup of water on your low back, nice and flat. Then you have the option to extend your left arm out in front of you, your opposite arm from leg. So you reach your fingers out long, as if someone was pulling your hand and foot in opposite directions. Keep breathing, keep looking down. Alrighty, when you're ready, you can release back down to tabletop. From here, we'll switch it up. You can extend your left leg back this time. You can keep your toes down against the ground, or you can lift your foot up, your left foot up off the ground. So you flex your foot behind you, like you're kicking the wall behind you. You can stay right here, or you can extend your right arm out, opposite arm from leg. Find your length. Keep looking down, find your breath. Notice your left shoulder. See if you could pull up out of your shoulder socket. Shine that chest forward, but keep looking down. Keep breathing. Alrighty, when you're ready, you can release back to tabletop. We'll do a quick wrist stretch before we move on. So you have the option from here to gently point your fingertips out to the sides, to either side of your body. You point your fingertips out. You can gently lean back and you can gently lean forward. From here, you have the option to gently point your fingertips back behind you. So your fingertips are pointing toward your knees or partway there, whatever feels good. And then from here, you can very, very gently move back and forth if that's okay. And then when you're ready, you can release. Release your hands back to normal. We'll do one last wrist stretch. You have the option to bring the top of your hand down to the ground. Whichever hand you want to do first, doesn't matter. Bring that hand down gently. You can lean gently into your wrist. You can go side to side just a little tiny bit here and there. And then when you're ready, you can release. Flip that hand back over. And then if you want to try the other side, you can gently bring the top of your hand down to the ground. Gently find a few little motions here if that's okay for you. And then you can flip it back to normal. Good work. You can come to a kneeling position and just do a few wrist circles in both directions. Nice and gentle. Okay. Now, return to your tabletop, your hands and knees, and from here, we'll do downward facing dog. So you can tuck your toes and begin to unbend your knees as you push your hips up and back. You can always lengthen your stance by stepping your hands out further in front of you or stepping your feet back further toward the back of the mat. You can always keep a bend in your knees. You can bend one knee and then the other, pedal it out or walk it out a little bit here. It's good to find motion in your first down dog. If it's your first one of the day, you can warm yourself up as you find your down dog for right now. Look at your hands. Make sure your hands are parallel to each other. Your fingertips are spread out wide. You should be pushing down through your pointer finger and your pinky to help release the pressure from your wrists. You could even nod your head, yes and no. Relax your neck. Look back at your knees. Drop your head down through your arms. Alrighty, bend your knees. Look at the space in between your hands and hop or step forward until you find yourself in a forward fold. You can always bend your knees. We're going to stay here for a few moments for our first fold. Your feet can be all the way touching, or they can be hip width distance apart or even wider. Your feet should be parallel, like the number 11. You can nod your head, yes and no. Relax your neck. You can clasp opposite elbows for a ragdoll pose. You can sway side to side gently, which helps stretch the thoracic spine a little bit more, the middle spine. So you find your breath here, especially those exhales as you find yourself lowering down with gravity with each exhale. On your next inhale, find your halfway lift as you bring your hands to your shins. Squeeze your shoulder blades together for a nice straight spine, reaching out long through the crown of your head. Keep breathing. And if it's hard to straighten your spine, bend your knees. Alrighty, then you can exhale, release, back down to fold for a moment. Nod your head again. Alrighty, now, over the course of a few rounds of breath, you can slowly roll all the way up to standing. So you think about pushing down through your feet as you rise up with a strong core. You can step your feet hip width distance apart. Lift up all 10 toes and then put them back down. Find that even distribution of weight throughout both of your feet. If you find a micro bend in both of your knees, engage your inner thighs and your quads. So you engage your core. So you stand tall like you're trying to look up over the fence at something just over there. And then tuck your chin. Relax your shoulders down, away from your ears. Keep bending those knees a little bit. Keep breathing. Maybe close your eyes for a moment. So you reach down through your fingertips toward the ground. Mountain pose. Alrighty. On your next inhale, reach your arms out and up overhead. You can find a gentle back bend if you want to. And then exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant both of your hands to the mat and step both of your feet back to plank pose. We'll hold our plank for a little longer, just for our first plank. You can always modify and come to your knees, which I recommend. If you're doing the full version of plank, think about engaging your legs. So kick your heels back over your toes and then shine your chest forward. So you're getting long in both directions. Look down at the mat for a neutral neck. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, we'll do our chaturanga, our tricep push-up. So as you exhale, lower all the way down to your tummy with your elbows in. Inhale, chest opener of choice as you lift your head, your shoulders and your chest. Your shoulders relax down. And then you can tuck your toes, plant your hands, and find your downward facing dog. You can pedal it out, walk it out a little bit. Alrighty, you can bend your knees, look at the space between your hands, and hop or step forward to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing. Exhale, release your arms down to your sides. From here, we'll do a few shoulder rolls. So you can start by bringing your feet hip-width distance apart. Lift up all 10 toes, put them back down. Find that micro bend in your knees. And then you can bring your shoulders up, back, and down and around. Up, back, and down. So you inhale your shoulders up, exhale, down and around. The down part is the most important. Keep that bend in your knees. Keep breathing. Then you can switch directions. Come up, forward and down. Inhale up, exhale down. Alrighty, when you're ready, you can shake your shoulders, relax them down, keep that bend in your knees. Now we'll do our neck rolls. So you can start by bringing your chin down toward your chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, roll your head to the side, your ear down toward your shoulder while you maintain a slight tuck in your chin. And then on your next inhale, you can come back down through center. Exhale to the other side. So you keep that bend in your knees. And then you can move through a few more of these neck rolls at your own pace. You have the option to bring your hand to the side of your head, which helps you create a little more space between your ear and your shoulder. You can stay on one side for an extra round or two. Sometimes I think we forget how big and heavy our heads are all day long and how much work our necks do for us all the time. Stretch it out. One more moment. Okay. When you're ready, you can come back to standing and we'll go through our flow. You can meet us in down dog if you want to. So inhale your arms out and up overhead. You can do a back bend if you want. And then exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. And on your next exhale, you can lower down. Inhale, chest opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe step your feet in about an inch if you want to. You can always walk it out, pedal it out. And if at any point during this practice you would like more of a rest pose, you can always drop your knees to the mat and find your child's pose. It is available to you at any time. All right. From your down dog, you can lift your right leg up behind you. So you let your right leg fly. We'll do a few crunches from here. So as you inhale, bring your knee to your chest and hold your knee here. Maybe give your knee a little kiss. And then exhale, kick it back out. We'll do 3 more of these. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, back out. Inhale, knee to chest. Give it a kiss. Exhale, back out. Alrighty. Knee to chest. And this time, plant your foot in between your hands. And with a strong core, sweep your arms up to a crescent lunge. Or make your way to a comfortable lunge position, however works best for you. So you can always adjust your stance. You can scooch your back foot up closer. You can widen your front foot out wider, which allows you to bend that right knee a little more and stretch that left hip a little more. The hip that we're stretching right now is the left one. So you can determine the intensity of this stretch by how much you bend into that front knee. And then from here, you can find your gazing point. Maybe something on the floor or the wall that's not moving that you can gaze upon. You can bring your hands down to your sides if you prefer. Or if you want more of a challenge, you can lift your right heel, but only if you want to. Find your breath, settle in here for a few more moments. And then you can release your arms down to your sides and step your feet together. You can go through your flow. Meet us in down dog when you're ready. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. On your next exhale, lower down. Inhale, chest opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good work. You can step your feet in about 1 inch. You can pedal out your feet. And then we're going to do all of that on the other side. When you're ready, let your left leg fly as you extend your left leg behind you. Notice your shoulders. See, you can keep your shoulders squared to the mat. Use that core. Now we'll do our 3 knee crunches. If you want, you have the option to bring your knee to your chest, hover your knee, give it a kiss. Then exhale back out. Inhale, knee to chest. Then exhale back out. Inhale, knee to chest. And then exhale back out. Alrighty, good job. And now last one, knee to chest. And now plant your left foot in between your hands. And with a strong core, sweep your arms up. Whew. So you find yourself here in crescent lunge on the other side. You can always adjust your stance. You can scooch your back foot up closer. You can widen your front foot out wider. You can bring your arms down. It's just as good. Square your hips as if you had headlights on each of your hip bones. Think about squaring them both forward. You can always widen your front foot. Find your breath. You can lift that front heel, but only if you want to. So you settle in, find your strength, and find your stillness all at once. One last good moment here. And then when you're ready, you can release your arms down to your sides and step your feet together. Good work. You can go through your flow. Meet us in down dog. So you inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, chest opener of choice. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, you can bend your knees, look at the space between your hands, and hop or step forward to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing. From here, we're gonna do chair pose. So, as you take an inhale, reach your arms up, and then exhale, circle sweep your arms down and then back up as you sit your hips down into chair pose. Like you're sitting down into a chair. Your feet should be parallel, like the number 11. Your weight should be in your heels. Maybe even wiggle your toes a little bit. Find your gazing point. Keep breathing. Alrighty, and then when you're ready, you can release back up to standing. You can inhale your arms out and up overhead. Then you can release your arms down to your sides. And from here, you can take a wide position on your mat, a wide-legged position. So you come to the wide side of your mat, face either way you want. Make sure your feet are parallel. Your toes are parallel to each other. And then think about pigeon toeing. Your toes in and your heels out just a little bit to protect your knees. And we'll take a fold. So you inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, fold gently with a micro bend in your knees. You can nod your head, yes and no. You can always keep a bend in your knees. And then you can place your hands on your hips, bend your knees, and with a straight back, rise up. Back up to standing. And now we'll do our warrior 2 sequence. So you can start by pivoting your left toes out, 90 degrees. So you bend into your left knee so that your knee is stacked right over your ankle or behind. And then you can extend your arms wide. So you look over your left fingers. You can always flip your palms up for a more shoulder-friendly version. So you think about lifting up with a strong core here, like you're trying to look up over the fence at something just over there. Keep breathing. Keep that tuck in your chin. Sometimes when we're tired and we do warrior 2, we lean forward and we squish into this front hip. But instead, see if you can inhale, reach up tall with a strong core. Maybe even think about leaning backwards, just a smidge with a strong, engaged core. Now we'll do our side stretches. So you bend your left elbow, place it on your left thigh. So you reach your right arm up and over. Maybe look up. So you keep breathing. If you want to use more core, you can extend both of your arms out parallel to each other. Or you can do an arm bind behind your back. So you find a good spot for yourself for a few more moments. And then when you're ready, you can rise back up to center. Now we'll stretch the other side as you slide your right hand down your right leg. Reach that left arm up and over this time. As you keep that bend in that left knee. You can do both arms if you want to use more core. You can do an arm bind. Keep breathing. Maybe look up. And then you can return to your warrior two. From here, you can straighten your left leg in front of you. We'll do our triangle pose. So as you inhale, lean forward to the left. So you pivot at the hips. Maybe find your shin with your left hand. Maybe look up. Keep breathing. And then you can rise back up to center. You can find your warrior two for a moment. And then you can release your arms back to center. You can bring your toes back in. We'll do a fold in between. And if you want, you have the option to include a shoulder stretch by clasping opposite elbows or by clasping your hands together behind your back. So you take an inhale, reach up tall through your spine, and then exhale, fold gently with a nice good bend in your knees. Nod your head, yes and no. Keep breathing. Alrighty, then you can gently rise back up. You can release your arms. And now we'll take our warrior two on the other side. So you can pivot your right toes out, bend your right knee. So you extend your arms wide. And look over your right fingers. So you settle in here, think about engaging your core, lift up tall. Bend that front knee as much as feels good for you. So you think about grounding down through the outside of your left foot. So you really are trying to stay really wide open here. You have the option to do your side stretches. You bend your right elbow, place it on your right thigh, and then reach your left arm up and over. Find your breath, nice round of breath here. Maybe look up. You can extend both arms if you want to do more core. You can do an arm bind. Alrighty, then you can inhale back up to center. Now you can slide your left hand down your left leg, reach that right arm up and over. So you keep that bend in that right knee. Maybe look up. Maybe use both arms. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, you can come back to your warrior two for a moment. One last good moment here. And then you can release your arms and straighten your right leg for triangle pose on this side. As you inhale, lean forward, pivot at the hips, and then maybe find your shin with your hand. And maybe look up to your left hand if that's okay. So you breathe into this side stretch. And then you can return to your warrior two for a moment. And then you can release your arms back to center. You can pivot your toes back in. And we'll take one more fold down the middle. When you're ready, inhale your arms out and up. And exhale, fold gently with a nice bend in your knees. You can nod your head yes and no. You have the option to include a twist while we're here. So you start by planting your left hand down underneath your nose, right underneath you. And then inhale your right arm up and overhead like a capital letter T. And if this feels tight, you can widen your left foot, your left hand out wider to the left. Breathe in this twist and then exhale, release back down to center. And you can switch sides. You plant your right hand, and then inhale your left arm up and overhead. So you breathe into this twist. You can always bend your knees. And then when you're ready, exhale, release. Bend your knees. Place your hands on your hips. And with a straight back, rise up. Good work. You can release your arms. You can bring your feet together. Good work. You can shake it out. We'll finish our standing up portion with tree pose, which is my favorite pose. So you can begin to find your weight and your grounding in your left leg as you kickstand your right heel against your ankle. You can stay right here if this is good, or you have the option to bring your foot to your calf. You think about squeezing your foot and your calf together, like they're glued together. You can stay right here, or maybe find your inner thigh or half lotus. Try to avoid your knee region if you can. You can do whatever feels good with your arms. You can extend your arms up overhead. You can do goalpost arms or cactus arms. You could do warrior two arms. Find your gazing point. If you like more of a challenge, you can close your eyes. As you keep a micro bend in your left knee. Now, before we release, you have the option to bring your knee in front of you. So you hold onto your right knee. You can extend your left arm out to the side. You can flex your foot. You can open up your hip for a moment. And then close it back up. You can practice extending both arms out. You could practice extending your whole leg out in front of you. And then lower it all down with control. Beautiful. You can shake it out. You can go side to side. And then you can give it a try on the other side. So you bring your weight and your grounding down into your right leg. You can find your kickstand or find any other spot that feels good for you tonight for your tree pose. So you think about roots growing down through your foot, gluing your foot down to the ground. Evenly distribute your weight throughout your foot. If you like more of a challenge, you can always close your eyes. You can extend your arms out wherever feels good. Find your gazing point. Now, before we release, you have the option to bring your knee in front of you. Flex that foot. You can extend that right arm out. And you have the option to open up your hip. This is in preparation for standing hand to foot pose. But for now, let's just close it back up. Close that hip back up, and then you can release both of your arms out to the side. You can extend your leg long in front of you and then lower it down with control. Whew. You can shake it out. Good work. Circle it out if you want. Yeah, get a drink of water. Okay. So from here, we'll go through our flow. When you're ready, inhale your arms out and up overhead. Find a back bend if you want. And then exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back. And as you exhale, lower down. Inhale, chest opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. You can pedal it out, walk it out. From here, you can let your right leg fly. So you extend your right leg behind you. We're gonna do pigeon pose. So from here, you can curl your knee into your chest and then bring your knee down to the mat in between your hands. So then your right foot finds a spot underneath your left hip and your left foot extends long behind you. You can stay right here if this is good, or you have the option to lower your head and chest down over your knee. You can make a little pillow with your hands. And if this is too much pressure for your knee, you can also do this pose while lying on your back. We're gonna stay here for about 8 rounds of breath for our deep hip opener of the night. So use your breath to settle in here. Do you imagine your body is like a sack of potatoes, like dead weight, like the only thing holding you up right now is the ground. If that feels okay. Keep breathing. When you're ready, you can begin to release. You can come back up to your hands. If you want, you have a moment to practice finding your height. Maybe walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Maybe find balance. So you think about pushing your right foot down into the ground, scissor your inner thighs together. And then when you're ready, you can release to frame your knee with your hands, tuck your left toes behind you, and return to your downward dog. You can do a counter stretch by lifting your right leg back up again a couple times. You can always shake it out, walk it out. And then we'll do that on the other side. So from here, you can let your left leg fly, curl your knee into your chest, and then plant your knee down in between your hands. Your right foot can find a spot underneath your left hip. And the further away you bring your right foot, the more of a deep stretch it is. And the closer in you bring your foot, the more beginner friendly. You can stay right here, or you can lower your head and chest down over your knee. You can make a little pillow with your hands. And if this is too much pressure for your knee, you can also do this pose while lying on your back. So use your breath here. Take a moment, do a quick scan of your body. Maybe notice any parts of you that are tight, that are holding on, which is normal. Maybe your glutes, maybe your shoulders or your eyebrows. See if you can exhale, let them go, even just for one breath. Alrighty. When you're ready, you can begin to release. You can come back up to your hands. You can walk your hands back underneath your shoulders for a moment. Find your height. Maybe find your balance. And then you can frame your knee with your hands, tuck your right toes behind you, and return to your downward dog. You can walk it out. You can do a counter stretch by lifting your left leg back up again a couple times. You can always shake it out, walk it out. As you enjoy the last moments of downward dog for tonight's practice, there is no other pose in yoga that stretches your arms, your shoulders, your spine, your hips, your hammies, your calves, and your ankles like downward dog. Maybe bend your knees nice and deep. Maybe even see if you can touch your ribs to your thighs. Drop your head down, stretch your shoulders. And then you can drop your knees down to your mat and find your child's pose. So you bring your hips down to your heels, and then your forehead down. You have the option to reach back for your feet for a folded leaf. And then when you're ready, you can begin to release. So you find yourself in a kneeling position. From here, we'll do our chest opener. So you can come up to a high kneeling position. We'll do our camel pose. You can tuck your toes underneath. You can bring your hands to your low back for support. And with your hips stacked right over your knees, you can gently open up your chest up toward the ceiling. Keep breathing. Maybe open up your head, your neck as you look up. Keep breathing. Keep your core strong or slightly engaged here. And then when you're ready, you can release. And we'll take child's pose one more time as you bring your hips to your heels, your forehead down. Child's pose. Alrighty. From here, you can walk your hands back up to a kneeling position. So you find yourself in tabletop. So come to your hands and knees. And from here, we're gonna practice gate pose. So you'll come all the way up, back up to a high kneeling position. Sorry about that. And from here, from a high kneeling position, you can extend your left leg out to the side. Then inhale your arms out and up. Exhale down to the left. We're doing lots of side stretches tonight. Maybe look up. Keep breathing. And then you can come back through center. This time bring your right hand down to the mat to the right as you extend your left leg up to the side for a moment. Hello, outer glutes. Alrighty, and then from here, you can come back to your kneeling position. From here, we're gonna practice side plank. So you have the option to bring your right hand down to the side as you extend your left leg out long. So you think about opening up your chest up toward the ceiling as you think about stacking your hips right on top of each other vertically and your shoulders stacked vertically. So you can stay right here. You can extend your left arm up for a capital letter T, or you have the option to extend your right leg down long to meet your left foot. So you're in a full side plank position. So you think about pushing up through your right hand, maybe look up, keep breathing. If you'd like more of a challenge, you can always lift your right foot for a star plank. And then when you're ready, you can gently find your way back to your kneeling position, back to center. Woo! Good work. Now we'll do that on the other side. So inhale your arms out and up. Oh, whoops, sorry. First, extend your right leg out to the side. Right leg out. Sorry. And then inhale up. Exhale down to the right. Maybe look up. Find your breath. Good work. And you can come back through center as you bring your hand all the way down to the other side. Maybe lift your right leg out to the side, lift it up, flex that foot. Keep breathing. Alrighty, good work. Then you can release back to center for a moment. And if you want, you have the option to practice your side plank by bringing your left hand down wide to the side and extending your right leg out wide. You can extend your right arm up overhead, maybe look up, and find your breath. If you want, you have the option to find a full expression of side plank by extending both of your legs down to the side. Keep breathing. You always have the option for variation. One last good moment here, and then you can gently release back to your kneeling position to center. And then you can come all the way down to your sits bones. You can extend both of your feet long and wide, or long in front of you. You can wobble out your knees. You can point and flex your feet. Do a few ankle circles, both directions. And then you can rock side to side as you find yourself sitting up tall. And then flex both of your feet. Plant your hands to your sides as you sit up nice and tall. Find your breath. Staff pose. Now we'll do our fold. So you inhale, reach your arms out and up, reach up tall. And then exhale, fold gently. You can always bend your knees. You can do whatever you like with your hands. You can tuck your chin. And then you can come back up to seated. We'll do our twists. So you can plant your right foot, bend your right knee. So you sit tall, take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Plant your right hand behind you and look over your right shoulder. So you keep your core engaged. Keep reaching up tall through the straight spine. Keep breathing. And then you can release. You can come back to center. You can take a quick counter stretch to the other side. And then you can switch. So this time you plant your left foot, bend your left knee, sit tall, take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Plant your left hand behind you and look over your left shoulder. Inhale, reach up tall through your spine. Exhale, twist. So you keep your core strong. Find your breath. And then you can release and do a quick counter stretch to the other side. And we'll take a fold to close out this portion. You extend both of your legs long in front of you. You can intentionally bend your knees if you want for this fold because it can help you stretch your spine. So you take an inhale, reach your arms out and up, reach up tall. And then exhale, fold forward gently. You can do your usual fold or you can bend your knees, tuck your chin, and stretch your spine. Take a nice round of breath. Alrighty, and then from here, you can rise back up, and then you're gonna plant both of your feet and bend both of your knees. And from here, we're just gonna take it all the way down to your back, and we'll do candlestick pose. So you practice extending both of your legs straight up, 90 degrees. You can hold onto the backs of your knees for support. You can point and flex your feet. You can do some ankle circles, both directions. You can do wide legs. You can do plow or shoulder stand if that's in your practice. And then when you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest. As you think about flattening your spine down against the mat, you can move your knees back and forth gently, like you're crawling, which helps release the low back. You can also move your knees in little opposite circles from each other. From here, you can do your happy baby pose. So you hold on to the bottoms of your feet from the outside edges of your feet, and then pull your feet down so your knees are traveling down toward your sides. So you think about flattening your spine down against the mat as much as feels good. You can rock side to side gently. And then you can bring both of your feet together, your knees wide for a reclined butterfly, reclined bound angle. You can hold on to your heels from the bottom. You can lift your head and shoulders if you want. You can touch your feet to your head for a yoga trick. And then you can release. Hug your knees to your chest. We'll take one last pose. So you hold on to your right knee and extend your left leg down long. From here, you can guide your knee across your body, down to the right, or no, down to the left. And then you can look to the right. So you breathe into this twist. So you imagine your spine is like a dish towel that you're gently wringing out. If you like a deeper twist, you can straighten your right leg. Alrighty, when you're ready, you can hug both of your knees into your chest. Then you can hold on to your left knee, extend your right leg down long. And then you can guide your knee across your body, down to the right, and maybe look to the left. You can straighten your left leg if you want. To find your breath for a few more moments. And then you can release. You can hug your knees to your chest. From here, feel free to take any other pose that you might like to take tonight. And then you can find your Shavasana as you extend both of your legs down long. You can extend both of your arms down to your sides as you relax your shoulders down. Then you can find a slight tuck in your chin. You can close your eyes. And you can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And we'll take about a 1-minute Shavasana tonight. As you allow yourself to absorb all the benefits from tonight's practice. Just take it all in. So you breathe in for a count of 3 or 4. And exhale for 3 or 4. Maybe think about somebody who you're grateful for. When you're ready, you can wiggle your fingers or your toes. You can stretch your arms. You can roll to your side for the fetal position. And then you can make your way all the way back up to a comfortable seated position when you're ready. You can sit tall, but remain relaxed. You have the option to bring your hands to heart center. So you take one last deep round of breath and notice how you feel right now. My soul honors each of your souls. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. It was so wonderful to have you all. I will unmute you and I will stop recording.
Privacy.